eyes were fixed on the thermostat hanging on the wall when guilt consumed me like the heat blowing from the vents on the floors and ceilings. I stood there in the foyer of my warm home, my mind frozen on images of the past. Being 14 years old and homeless, I knew then I had to do something to raise awareness about homeless teens in America. It had to be a grand statement.
It's January 3rd, 2010. In my tent, in my sleeping bag. It's my third night. But my light just went out.
Folks, we can talk. We can talk about it. We talk, you hear it all the time. The talk, and it's like, when is someone gonna literally get up and walk? I did start out January 1st in Nashville, and when I left there, it was cold. I was sleeping outside, and it was so cold that the sleeping bag had frozen over. It had ice on it. And I thought to myself, wow, what am I doing?
Everybody told me, they said, you probably shouldn't walk through that neighborhood.
If it means that I lose everything that I have for the sake of trying to raise awareness one more time in my life, I'll do it. I'm gonna do it. And I walked out of Nashville thinking that I'd never return.
It's day 8 of Project Meet Me Halfway. As you can tell, it is blistering cold out here.
I have been homeless for about 1.5 years now. I kind of felt like I was just tossed out in the cold, just sort of thrown under the bus. It was sort of out of the blue.
My mom had financial issues. She didn't have the financial means to take care of us. We were literally living on the street, so I was homeless as a little kid too.
The thing that we don't do a great job of is acknowledging that they usually come from trauma. And so then everything that we do on top of that, if we haven't addressed those heart pieces, is building more trauma.
Because I just kept getting moved from home to home to home, and you're just like, okay, I just want my mom. At first, my mom said I thought it was just a daycare thing, because Mom would drop me off, I'd be there, I'd see her again, so I thought it was just a daycare thing. But then like at 6 is when it hit me like, oh, she's not coming back. So I was scared, it was terrifying.
When I was 16 years old, my life changed. The Costners gave me a home. I lived there for 6 years. They made it possible for me to go back to high school, get my college degree, and allowed me to pursue my dream.
I want to get the message out how important it is for people like the Costner family that took me in and gave me a home, changed my entire life, guys. They took someone in who simply didn't have a home.
You really don't know where you're going to be for that night. Like, you really need to find a place to stay for the night. You don't know if you're going to be sleeping outside in the snow or if you're going to be outside in the rain.
It's March 8th, 2010, Project Meet Me Halfway. Lieutenant Colonel Garkey came out today to walk with me and for the rest of the week.
The rest of the week.
Lieutenant Colonel in the U.S. Army came out once before in the middle part of January, and he's out here today to show his support again.
Jimmy Wayne talks a lot about how it's not about him, it's about the kids. He's not doing this to bring fame to himself, and we all understand that. And anybody who spends any time listening to him will understand that. But in a way, in my view, it is about him, because I had the opportunity to go down to Washington, D.C. and watch him speak in front of the Senate panel, and Senator Landrieu and Senator Grassley and the Senate caucus on foster care. And I saw him in front of a panel with 9 other people and telling his story and singing a couple of songs.
Although my feet hurt, it would all be worth every step for a homeless child.
It's May 14th, 2010, Project Meet Me Halfway, out here in somewhere in New Mexico.
There's all kinds of reasons why these youth end up homeless. They're not bad people. some have been caught up in a situation with a family like mine. Dad leaves, mom has some issues and has to get medical help, and then you end up in a foster home or a receiving home, and then it just keeps going on from there. And I remember going to 12 schools in 2 years. I just got so far behind.
Just ahead of me is some folks that actually drove all the way down from Walton, Kentucky. Ahead, there's some folks that drove down from Virginia. It's about 5:38 p.m. Mountain Time. I'm 10 miles outside of Arizona, here in New Mexico. This marks the 6th month of this journey. Meet me halfway. I've walked from Nashville, Tennessee to right here.
People tell you they're going to do this thing to make something happen that makes a difference. But when it comes down to it, it's an empty promise. They don't come through on it. And what amazes me about what Jimmy Wayne has done is that he did it. He had all these challenges, all these opportunities to be like, you know what, I give up. You know, this is an inconvenience for me. This is, you know, hurting me and this, and physically hurting him. But yet he kept doing, he fulfilled that promise.
Believe it or not, uphill is a lot easier than going downhill.
I was 15 and I had been in the system for 4 years, and my caseworker showed up at my school with all of my stuff in black trash bags and said, "You're moving." And I sat in the school lobby and cried.
This is a conversation of how a nation as wealthy and as rich, deeply gifted as we are, takes care of those who don't have the ability to take care of themselves.
I worked in a prison for 4 years. I've seen them take care of pedophiles better, and folks that beat kids up and rape kids. I've seen the system take care of them. Why can't they take care of the innocent kids?
$1.4 billion would be a general savings if every young person who was challenged and facing one of those systems of care had just one additional year of education. If we could manage to graduate 5% more of them, give them permanent places and give them an opportunity to thrive, you know, everybody benefits. Not hundreds, not thousands, but by the billions of dollars.
It's a lot better to actually nurture the youth. Like, just because they've had trouble in their lives doesn't mean that they're completely just spent and useless anymore. Like, if someone were to put out a helping hand to a youth, then they could actually help that person get their life on track.
What we'd like to see happen is the age be moved from 18 years old to 21.
When I turned 18, I didn't have anybody. You know, I had to go, I had to find my own way.
Meet me halfway.
We don't look at the finale or the end of this walk from Nashville to Phoenix and throw your hands up and say, well, that was it, you know, that was really cool. I think the mission is clear. I think there's a clear understanding about this walk was the first step to raising awareness, and whatever it takes to raise awareness, that's what we continue doing.
Well, my dream is to become a foster parent, because I know what it's like to be in the system and know what it's like to be the kid that doesn't have the home to go to. So I've always wanted to become a foster parent or start a daycare.
I'm thinking about all the youth out there who need a home. I did this walk for you, and I hope that folks get involved. And I pray that you'll be safe and you'll find a home.